There is one place in Jackson that offers you a one-of-a-kind wine selection, imported artisan cheeses, local and micro brews, as well as do-it-yourself wine and beer kits. You don't want to miss this. I'm Adrian Sharp, and this is Food Circus. Cork and Cap is located in Jackson on Lansing Avenue and owned and operated by Jack Travioli. Jack prides himself in knowing the vast varieties of beer, wine, homemaking kits, and all other things that go along with it. From pairing foods with a beverage to helping you get started with your first wine kit, this is the place to be. Hey Jack!
How you doing?
I'm great, man. How are you?
Doing pretty well.
Man, what a beautiful setup you have here. This is just gorgeous.
Thanks.
A little bit more space as opposed to the other location you used to have on the other side of town.
Yep, we more than doubled our footage about 4 years ago now.
Man, it's so nice. I got the beautiful wooden floors, and look at all this wine and glasses to greet you. Here at Cork and Cap, you can create your very own six-pack with over 150 different beers to choose from. They can range from $10 to $60 depending on what brews you choose. And that, my friends, is a question you're gonna have to make for yourself. I mean, look at all these, Jack. How do you pick what ones you want to carry?
I like variety, and I like good beer. And so it's always troubling when I get a full cooler, which ones are maybe not going to make the cut.
Yeah.
We try to bring in new things, so we always have something different every time you come here.
Look at this bottle of the Double Bastard. It even has a lock on it, you guys. Now, Jack, tell me about this.
They only made a very few of those. Very few of them got into the state. That's one of their big strong beers. I believe that one, it says,
Ye shall know the bastard, and the bastard shall set you free.
But
and then even a small keg.
right.
Is that for?
We do a lot of special order kegs. We can get just about anything, depending on whether it's available seasonally. And this happens to be Sam Adams Winter Lager.
Nice. Oh, great. So you know that's fresh. You know that's fresh. And before we leave this little area, what a great addition to any wine or a specialty brewery shop is this great local cheese from here in Michigan.
Most of these cheeses are all imported, European cheese, but that's their specialty. And
sure.
Boy, we go all over the world to get some of the best stuff, and Erica down at Boulevard does a great job, and we've been working with them now for a couple years.
We'll get a chance to try some of these delicious, delectable cheeses later with one of the best wine selections available in Jackson. Before we do, let's talk about some grain selections for our own make-it-yourself brew. And as we come over here, we're starting to get into kind of our kit area, right? Our make-ourself section of the store. Look at all the different grains you offer.
When I opened the store, it was meant to be a specialty food store, and what more special could be grain from all over the world, actually, for making beer. I guess it's yeast food.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, it is.
You basically will start with one of these core base grains. Brewer's Two Row is a real common grain. It's optimized for producing the most amount of sugar to make the beer.
Okay.
And then you add some of these other grains to give it darker color, or some of the other flavors that you get from different styles of beer. Like this chocolate malt, you most likely use in a stout.
And we were mentioning about the brew kits, and that if you wanted to get the basic kit and you were going to make maybe a 5-gallon batch of beer, and I'm sure it would depend on what you're making, but if, say, we were just going to make like a typical ale or what you would, how much would we have to buy to make a batch?
Well, I would recommend somebody just starting out to go with a kit.
Yep.
It kind of sets you up with the basics.
Oh, okay.
You use a malt extract. It cuts a couple steps out of the front of it, and you still make pretty good beer with it.
Sure.
As you get familiar with the process, you add a little more equipment on the front end. It allows you to work with all grains.
Gotcha. Okay.
And to answer your question, if you were making a batch of beer and you want it to be around, let's say, 6-7% alcohol, which is typical what people want to do with a microbrew or a homemade brew, you might use 10-11 pounds of grain.
Sure. Now this here was a little more. There's okay malt extract.
Right, these are the extracts and the kits I was just talking about.
Great.
Some of these are about the closest thing to instant beer that you can imagine.
No kidding.
You add it, you pour that into some water and add the yeast to it, and it's ready to go.
Now walking into Cork and Cap, you know they have an insane wine selection. But little did I know all the other accessories that go along with it, from making your own beer to making your own wine, and the beverages and foods that go along with it. They really have it all covered. A little bit of everything here. We've got, of course, all of our beautiful wine accessories for your bottles of vino, and it looks like, oh, here we go, some sake back here. No, what is that?
Yeah, that's sake.
Some nice sake. I love sake. You'll have that if you go to, of course, a Japanese steakhouse, or you like to enjoy sushi. Find some sake, which is delicious rice wine, if I'm correct. Is that correct, Jack? Rice wine. I like it warm and cold. Oh, now this looks like we're getting into not the beer kits, but are these wine kits?
These are completely self-contained wine kits that make 6-gallon batches, which is about 2.5 cases of wine.
Wow.
Even easier than a beer. These you put the contents in a primary fermenter, top it off with water, add the yeast. 6 weeks later, you have wine.
Really? Now, do you strain it, or is it all ready to go? I mean, are you putting it into the bottles and then waiting the time period, or is it staying in the container?
There's a 2-stage fermentation process.
Okay.
It starts in one of the primary fermenters.
Sure.
And then after a week or two, you usually, depending on the kit, will transfer it into a glass water jug known as a carboy over there.
Oh, cool. Yeah, here, let's check them out. Let's check them right out here. And is this the fermenter you were talking about, one of them?
Actually, the ones that come with the kits are these right here.
Oh, great. Excellent.
And
wow,
then
the vino vessel.
we move into the glass as the second stage. And at that point, you're really at your leisure as to when you bottle. You don't have to do it right away.
Now, you tell me about this, buddy. What am I making in this? Am I making brew in here? Am I doing wine?
This is if you're really serious. And we have a lot of people in the area that grow their own grapes and make larger volumes than will fit in these buckets.
Oh, cool.
So this is actually a food grade primary fermenter that can get you started, but then you might need something maybe more this size.
Yeah. How cool.
To finish off the fermentation.
It's time for a short break, but when we come back, it's time for Sipping and Tipping with the Andersons and a very special guest that flew a long way to be here. And after that, we'll try some excellent wine and cheese. I know you're waiting for that.